weakest hunter of all mankind?
They call him the weakest hunter of all mankind.
You aren't just staying on as a hunter because you're too stubborn to quit, right?
Not like I'm mad. It isn't their fault I'm so weak. I wanted to be stronger. I tried, but I never could. Not yet. Not yet. I wish I had another chance. That's true, then I can get stronger.
Okay, so have you been working out?
The way he's moving, he can't possibly be E-rank.
Your shadow must stretch into some really nasty places.
One more reason I need to get stronger.
I haven't lost yet!
Arise. It's time for your first mission.
Red Gate! Contact your primary strike squad! Do it now!
Or are you stupid enough to try and stop me? If you want, go for it. I could use a laugh.
Question is, do you have enough luck remaining to escape with your life?
They'll definitely walk out of this gate alive.
Considering your reaction, I suppose you aren't aware?
That makes 3 times.
You cannot hide from me!
My regular soldiers won't cut it. I need something more powerful. I said, it's over.
Hello, everyone. My name is Heather Hurt with the NRW, where nerds rule the world, and I am here with Aleks Lee, who plays Sung Jinwoo. Wow, I've watched the entire series, and yet here I am. Oh, hey, kitten. Who is voicing Sung Jinwoo in Solo Leveling, as well as the upcoming film Solo Leveling ReAwakening. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm sorry for that. Word
It's okay. We have a lot of distractions going on right now.
Fair. Cat butt is perfect.
Yeah.
So let's get started. The movie, as of this recording, comes out in just a couple of days. How are you feeling about the audiences seeing it?
I'm so excited because this is going to be my first film that I lead that's going to be out in theaters. I've had other films where I play main characters in, but this is going to be the first one where I'm the titular character, and it's really cool because this is something I feel that will be an experience that will be improved seeing it in theaters, because I got a chance to hear how it sounded in like a movie theater just for a brief second, and I thought the audio mixing was so different from hearing it on your phone or your computer. So I'm really excited for people to see the high octane action scenes in theaters with like the full speakers and IMAX and everything like that. So that'll be very exciting.
It's very, they need some cuddle time. That's what the great thing about that. And that's one of the really great things about Solo Leveling in totality. It is so cinematic. It is so theatric. Early reviews have come out, and you even look at original reviews. The movements, the actions, the colors of Solo Leveling just set it way apart from many other series. For you, other than getting to hear it potentially for the audience and for yourself in theater, what makes Solo Leveling so different other than the visuals?
I think it's got a very dark story in terms of not being overly dark for the sake of being edgy. There are a lot of cool, edgy anime moments in it, but I feel that the story and the core of the story are very grounded, emotional human feelings that don't get addressed a lot, like the feelings of inadequacy or the feelings of betrayal by the world, or it addresses a lot of very, very interesting moral dilemmas that I don't see in a lot of animes. And our character isn't really a hero in a sense either. He's I keep saying that he's a victim of circumstance, and it's really interesting to see how he navigates his newfound abilities and what he chooses to do with them in this setting. So I feel that it's got a lot of really, really great story beats and also action to keep everything fun and interesting.
And I was just thinking, it's there's also the element of if the system's going to use me, I'm going to use it back. You hear that so much in this series.
Mm-hmm.
It's he's taking advantage of something that's taking advantage of him, and it's really a great give and take.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is sort of an OVA slash kind of a movie, because we're seeing elements from the first season in totality, plus season two, plus some of season two. For someone who's been watching since January 6, 2024, how would you sell this movie? So, like, once again, I started watching on Premiere. I've been in love with the series. It was a mad hit. How would you sell a movie that technically goes through the entire season one to me?
I would say that if you are not a fan of the show and you haven't seen it before, this is a great way to get into it. Because this is the perfect way to just catch yourself up on the very first season and what happens. And if you are a fan of the show, I would say that this is a best of type of situation where the first hour is the best fights, best moments from the show, all packed together with new composition in a way that's very engaging with some new music choices that are super cool. And we even repackaged a few of the scenes personally for the English dub. So some things do sound different from the original. So it'll be very cool to hear how that paces out and sound in the new version. But I would just say that if you like the show, it'll be a very entertaining first hour to revisit all the best moments, and it'll be great to watch it with a crowd in theaters, in the big screen, on the big screen with blaring speakers. And then it'll be great to see two of the new episodes very early. And those episodes are super, super cinematic episodes. So I'm so happy that they're doing this theatrical release for it. So that's how I would try to sell somebody on it.
That's fair. I got to see it before my husband, and he's really, really mad at me. I told him what I got to watch, and he's like, "Oh, I told you not to watch it. I told you not to watch it." Let's talk about you and your experience. You were saying this is your first lead, but you have a history of voice speaking experiences in regular American cartoons and in anime. A lot more experience from what I read in American shows. What's the big difference between those types of speaking roles in traditional Western cartoons versus anime?
I think this is my first leading character on a film. And so I've led a lot of series before, and it's always really fun for anime. But to be a part of a film is, you're in a movie theater. That's really cool. It's a really cool experience to get to go to a movie theater and hear yourself. But the difference is that in traditional Western animation, there's a lot more freedom to express yourself. And then the animators will animate to your performance. But the upside to doing something like this from an anime of a pre-existing animation is that you already know how everything's going to turn out in the end. So in a sense, you have a lot more control of how you direct and portray the scene. Because you already know what the music is going to sound like, you know what everybody else is going to sound like, you know what he's going to do exactly, you know how the colors are in the moment. It gives you a lot more information as an actor to work off of. So in a way, Western animation is more freeing as you get to explore more, but anime is really cool because you get to already see the final product kind of, and you can expand upon that already really cool product to add your own flares to it. So both very interesting processes. But yeah, this was absolutely a blast to work on because it's just so cool to see it all come together and in such a short amount of time too. Because in animation for Western stuff, you have to wait 3 years, 3 to 5 years for it to come out. But this, we literally recorded it a couple months ago, and now it's coming out. So it's amazing.
Are you the type of, and I apologize for say what I did before. I know you're a lead. I meant to say you first lead in a film. I apologize. That was my bad.
No, you're all good.
When it comes to there's a lot of anime, a lot of Japanese voice actors who say they don't like to read scripts ahead. They don't read the manga. They don't do any of that because they want to know. And the way that the way that you mentioned it, y'all don't really have the option to do that. Is that right? You'll have to kind of know.
We kind of record on the day of, but this project was a little bit different because there's already so much material out there. And for me, it's true sometimes when you take on a new project, it's best that you keep a fresh pair of eyes and just kind of see where production takes you. But uh, in my opinion, when you're stepping into a role that's already existed for so long, you kind of owe it to yourself and to the fans to do a little research to understand why it is that the character is loved, understand all the moments that people love about the character and what you can honor. So for me, whenever it comes to anime or an existing video game franchise or anything, it's always been about having that knowledge prior to understand what it is that would make this character pop even more than you could, do. Now, if I were to do something wholly original, then yeah, I would love to just be guided on a journey. But for this, it was very important for me to know everything as much as I could, at least.
Are you a manga head? Do you read a lot of?
I used to when I had the time, but now it's been very hard to find time to read. But I used to be a very, very active reader.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun hearing you. The music as well. Let's talk about Jinwoo a little bit and his growth. He no puns, no nothing. He grew a lot
He sure did, yeah.
in
Mhm.
season one. What was your favorite relationship that he built during season one?
Oh, that's a very good question. Not one that I've been asked a lot. It's That's really fun. I think there's two answers to this for me. There's the relationship that he has with his sister that I find really endearing because he goes through this insane journey of just becoming a whole different person, and he takes on like murderous intent, and he does all these messed up and scary things. But whenever he comes home to her, he's just very casual, he's very like chill, and it's so fun to see him turn that side of him off just so he can come home and have fun and be a big brother. And I find that very endearing. All those little moments when we performed them, we were very loose with the script because Caitlin Glass, our director, wanted the interaction to sound natural and fun and lighthearted. So anytime we got to that part, it was a lot of ad-libbing, it was a lot of trial and error, and those were very, very fun scenes to whip up because they just felt so like realistic and fun. But other relationships I liked was with Gino, who's the rich kid that he meets in the dungeon. I think that's a hilarious relationship, and I love seeing their friendship develop. And I can't wait to see more of it develop in the future because they have a lot of places to go with each other. And it's just I've always been a fan of Justin Briner. So getting to work with him and see his comedy chops in action like this was like really entertaining for me. And we play off of each other really well. And I think it's a great dynamic to have.
What relationship would you like to see develop that you see Jinwoo build?
I am very curious in his relationship with Chahain, who's the blonde girl. She's played by one of my friends, Michelle Rojas, and we've known each other for a long time, and this is our first time that we'll be sharing the screen together. So I really am excited to finally get to play off of her and just see where his character goes with her, because I know she's a super cool character as well. So, uh, and I've seen some of her clips in the trailer, and they've really put a lot of effort into animating her and doing her justice. So I just know every scene with her will be very, very cool.
Yes, I'm very excited. It's this season. My husband got to read ahead, and he's like telling me all these, and I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I just want to see it. It's so much fun. And yes, Jinwoo and his sister, they are. It was so weird in season one when he just came out looking like he did, and she's just like, this is normal. It's fine.
Yeah. There's a certain sense of like blindness when you're siblings. You
don't
choose to willingly not acknowledge a lot of things. And I'm like, I totally get it. If that happened to any of my siblings, I wouldn't acknowledge them either. I wouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt and be like, whoa, why are you like all ripped and muscular now? And I'd just be like, all right, well, you're ripped now. Cool, whatever. Just like she did. She's like, all right, cool, you're muscular now. Whatever. I don't really care all that much. And I think that's really hilarious.
I'm sorry. I love that scene, and so much fun. Sorry. Jinwoo going into the dungeons. I kind of want to focus on him for a second. We got to see some really cool moments in the final dungeon in season two, and we get to see that power develop. what are you looking forward to the most going into this film for audiences to witness related to that last final moments of the season 1 episode?
Oh, I'm excited for audiences to see how he's gonna utilize his new shadow powers. We don't really get a lot of media of necromancers using their powers because it's kind of a forbidden arts type of magic in a lot of media. So I think it'll be really, really cool to see him and how messed up he can be when he's using that sort of power, where he will draw his morality. I think it'll be very fascinating to see how he interacts with them and when he chooses to use them. So, super excited for the fans to see his new power set.
And it's a lot of fun. Definitely go see it. Solo Leveling ReAwakening hits theaters on December 6th. Aleks, thank you so much for your time. Definitely go check out both subbed and dub will be available in theaters, but support voice actors everywhere. Go see it 2 times. It's totally great. Thank you so much, and y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Heather.